Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another edition of Descent into the Void, a tale of D20s, where seven friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion. So without further ado, let's turn the page and continue our epic tale.
Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s.
Last time, Liberators, after defending yourselves and the caravan from an onslaught of demons, you rested for the evening in the abandoned campsite, burying the bodies of the dead warriors you found within the tents. You woke up the next day and completed your preparations for the journey ahead, which included creating rations from horse meat and piling the equipment from the caravan into the portable hole. King Monaco, Cal, and Horatio began to pray together at the newly grown Heaven's root tree in an attempt to collect Heaven's due. Using one of the sacred candles in his possession, King led the ceremony where once again another miracle was performed. With the combinations of your prayers and divine connections, King, Monaco, and Cal began to float into the air, their energy coalescing around the Heaven's root, causing it to release a torrent of divine dew that flooded the camp. This made the rest of the party members begin to float atop the newly formed lake, and an infinity pool of dew was created before you. King began to dance in glee around the miraculous body of water, seemingly unlocking a force of energy within him, but he was unable to fully grasp it. Collecting some dew, you all made your way toward Arrowwatch, stopping at a cave to collect some medicinal herbs along the way. Finally, after another day's travel, you made it to your destination, the melancholy and desolate citadel known as Arrowwatch. Following Glem's lead, you enter into his hollow halls that was decorated with dust and artwork depicting the new gods. Then climbing up a staircase toward the tower's apex where your contact Ray awaited. Horatio seemed to have a connection to a statue of three gods atop the tower, Gaia, Eros, and Erebus. Previously, Syl had ascended from the outside and made his way in first, where at the top of the tower he met an armored tiefling by the name of Ray, the Adjudicator. She offered him tea and snacks while they awaited the others to make their way to the top. Finally grouped again, you met Ray, but grew suspicious of her motives before she finally revealed herself to be a shape changer working for the Dark Master, who needed the crystals and weapons in your possession. So, Liberators, taking Glem captive and launching him away in suspicion, you are face to face with a strange, featureless white blob of a humanoid who claims to be an ally of an evil entity. They have snapped their fingers and you feel all your connection to any magical source lost, and the door behind you locked shut. Trapped in this large room, what do you do next?
Monaco will check on Glenn, paying little heed to the tension in the air.
Okay, so as you run over towards Glem, who's been launched by Syl towards this shape-changing foe, they turn to you and say, Now, you will hold it right there, and kind of crosses in front of Glem and meets you at that point. I said, give me what I want, and you can go freely. Take the fucking money. I don't care. I just need my crystals.
And what do you need these crystals for?
Oh, never you mind. I need it for the Dark Master. And if you know what's good for you, you'll hand them over.
Well, unfortunately, we left them at a different location because it seems suspicious here. So if you want the crystals, we have to go get them.
Roll a deception check.
I bend down and pick Chastafol up.
Can I still feel my bond to the magnetic blade?
Yes, you can. Okay, 20. They turn towards you, Horatio, and look at you with a peculiar look. Well, if it's not in your possession, then where is it? I can find it myself, and I'll know if you're lying.
Well, by the way you've set things up right now, I think that us holding on to the information of knowing where it is our only guaranteed means of safety. So if you let us out of here, we can take you to them.
I don't like those odds. Or I can just peer into your mind and find it myself.
Let's just be civil already. Can't you see he's hurt? Drop all this. Well, let's just talk this out.
Duran's hand slowly slides up his back to grab the magnetic blade. Can I sleight of hand or something to try to grab the blade without being noticed?
Sure, roll me a sleight of hand check.
Oof!
A 9. So you go to reach for the blade, and you all kind of hear a clanking sound and shifting as Duran pulls out the magnetic blade, and the shape changer turns towards you and says, No, no, no. You will place your weapons away. I'm not here for a fight unless you ask for it. Just give me what I want.
Can I look around and see if there's anything that was activated when they snapped their fingers, and see if there's something that's like holding this anti-magic field?
Roll me an investigation check. 19. As you begin to survey the room around you, in the upper right-hand corner of the room, a small red circular gem glowing ever so slightly, but you were able to perceive it from your distance. Perhaps that could have something to do with it, as it wasn't glowing before.
Interesting. Okay.
And the shape changer kind of turns around and picks up the small gnome Glem. And Glem, darling, be a dear, do you know where they're keeping my crystals? And Glem stares at them with dumbfounded eyes and says, They put it in some magical hole. One of them's carrying it with them now. Thank you, love. And then they toss Glem onto the ground. So it seems that you've lied to me. I guess I can't trust you. Give me this whole thing of yours, and I'll still let you keep the money and your lives.
Where is Cal in relation to me? Like, are we all standing next to each other?
You see there is the table that's in front of you from the staircase where you had came up, but that place has been locked. Syl is at the other end of the table, who had just finished his tea, and behind Syl is the shape changer.
Okay, so since I'm standing next to Cal, I'm going to try and nudge him, like, with my elbow to try and, like, be a little subtle about it to get him to, like, look at me specifically so I can mouth something to him.
I slowly look in my peripheral vision and see King trying to get my attention. What do I see you doing, King? Where do you want me to be looking?
Okay, I'm going to roll a sleight of hand. Okay, so not that stealthily. But I'm going to be, like, pointing towards the ceiling.
You're just going to straight up point?
Like, point towards the ceiling, and then I'm going to point towards where I noticed the little gem, and I'm going to, like, make finger gun and be like, pew, 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 like, towards the, like, shoot towards the ceiling.
That's that 7 on sleight of hand right there. Good job.
I mean, I would use something to enhance, but I don't think that everything that I have comes from my connection from my god. So can we use any innate abilities, or is everything severed?
As you try to reach, anything that's magical base has been severed in this anti-magic room.
Yep.
Duran says to the shifting creature in front of him with his blade out, "You have made aggressive movements against us, and we do not know your intention. If you let us leave and clear a way to our exit, I will put my weapon away. But I warn you," and he points his blade at them, "if you turn out to be our enemy."
I mean, of course I'm your enemy. Oh, I haven't properly introduced myself. You can call me Deja Vu. And once again, I'll be taking those crystals in this hole of yours, and then I'll let you go.
Duran's gonna attack her.
I'm going to pull out one of my pistols and attempt to shoot that ruby as well while all of this is happening. I'm going to use the chaos of the moment.
Okay. Cal, you are shooting the bead, and Duran, you are running over to attack Deja Vu.
Yes. She did say she was the enemy.
So, Cal, roll an attack, just a regular attack to see if you hit the small bead.
Okay. Oh, so you mean I have to use a regular pistol and not a magic pistol?
You can use either one. Your magic pistol's not magical though right now.
Yeah.
10. Okay. So, Cal, when you look over after King points out the bead in the corner of the room, you take out your pistol and shoot it. Unfortunately, it's quite a little bit distance away. You're not able to lock onto it, and it's very small, so you hit the wall to the side of it, causing a slight bit of damage. Duran, you run up. I'm guessing, are you jumping over the table? Are you going around the table?
Can he slide across the top of the table, kind of like how Legolas would?
All right, roll me an acrobatics check.
Doing a classic, like, car hood.
All right. So using your movement, you slide across the table, landing on the other side, running up. Deja has a look of surprise on their face, and you manage to get one strike, and go ahead and roll your attack.
This is kind of an assassinate.
Yeah. Yes, it does. As you slide across the table, going to strike Deja, they instinctively jump back, and you miss your initial strike. Getting into a better position, Deja steps back slightly, not leaving your reaction range, but just to position themselves well, and looks to you and says, "Well then, you've all made your choice, so be it." Snapping their fingers once again, you see a blood-red shell-like piece of armor appear on Deja Vu's arm. It quickly expands, curving their entire body, forming a suit of armor before your very eyes. The armor completely encompasses the body and the face, where it creates a helmet with glowing red eyes and horns protruding from the side temples, and two demonic beast faces with dripping mouths for hands. All of you feel an ominous energy pulsating from this newly formed armored foe ahead of you. I'm going to need everyone to roll initiative.
Did Cal shoot at the gem?
I did and missed. And my initiative is not great.
Alright, so he's right next to me, so I would have seen him shooting at something.
Mm-hmm. Do we have access to like our El Rabu bonus?
Yes.
Duran, frustrated and angered at the possibility this creature had something to do with the slaughter of those people, pushes himself and hears Makar's motivating words in his ears as he rushes towards the enemy.
As all of you prepare for the battle, you see this armored creature before you. Energy just pulsating off of it, and you all feel this almost nostalgic negative force coming from it. And before you go to make your first strike, Duran, the armor transformation completes, and you hear,
"You will not leave our here alive. You have made your tune. Now suffer the power of chaos."
Duran, it's your turn.
Duran brings his blade down the terrifying creature, hoping to get answers for what's happened here today.
28, that's a hit. Roll damage. Okay, so with your first strike, you slash into Deja Vu, this armored, demonic-looking version. And when you slash up, striking them, even though they're fully armored and you can't quite make out any facial expressions, you hear a bit of surprise coming from their voice. Go ahead and make your next attack. All right, that's another hit. Roll damage. 18 points of damage. Ouch.
And then Duran burns his action surge to attack again. All this is non-lethal damage. He still wants answers.
Okay. Ooh. 27, another hit. 14 more points of damage. Ooh. So using your action surge and the kinetic energy coming from your mystical blade, you begin to slash into Deja Vu, one after another, slicing as you see this blackish red energy just pulsating off it from every hit. You hear Deja reply back,
This is impossible. What blade are you wielding? I'll strike you down and cover you in chaos."
What else do you want to do?
Duran's going to use the second attack he gets from the attack action he took to attack again.
Okay. 28. Okay, another 18 points of damage. Awesome. Anything else you want to do?
And with his bonus action, still spinning from the rapid spinning magnetic momentum of the blades, like a whirling dervish of magnetic force, he's going to kind of spin like a top and then turn kind of parallel to the ground and then swing downwards with his bonus action.
Natural 20.
No one threatens my friends. Defend yourself, enemy.
"I will have your blood for breakfast, your soul for lunch, and your essence for dinner."
Are you going to move?
No, he's going to stay right there.
All right. So, next up, Syl.
Do I see the crystal that Cal shooting at?
Roll me a perception check. Yes, you do see it.
I can fly over there, right?
Yes, if you like to.
I'm gonna fly over there, and I'm gonna try to hit it with my warhammer.
All right, roll attack. 23. Roll damage. All right. You slam your warhammer into the crystal and it begins to crack, though it's not completely broken. Deja looks over to you. You hear them shout out.
"Stop that, you insolent fool!"
I'll add one with the blade to that.
All right. It cracks slightly more.
I'll hit it one more time with my warhammer, with my battle axe this time.
All right. Okay, 11. All right. Roll damage. Go 8. The crack now splits it into half. It's still held together, and there's still a red glow coming from it. But it looks to be still active.
And I'll use a key point to flurry blows and do the same
Okay.
thing twice.
Roll that damage. With this strike, you all hear a as the gem falls down into pieces, and your connection to your magical items are once again back, and you feel it. Chastable begins floating again. All your items begin glowing again. Cal, your guns begin to glow once more, and you can feel the arcane energy coming from them.
Alright, since it's shattered now, I'm going to move over here, and I'm going to attack Deja Vu with my last talent strike. I'm also going to add, try to add a stunning strike to that.
Okay. So as you go in and strike with your talons, you slash up, and you notice that although you kind of pierce Deja Vu's armor, it doesn't take hold, doing half of the damage that you would expect it to do. And the stunning strike doesn't seem to take effect either.
Alright, that's in my turn.
Okay. Deja will first focusing on Duran, looking at his blade.
You wield the power of chaos. A nuisance. I'll deal with you first.
And raising their hands up, and you see the two demon heads that they have for hands. They begin to glow a weird purplish red hue before releasing a torrent of blast of energy that you've not seen before. I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw, Duran and Monaco.
Could this be counterspelled?
You can certainly try.
I'd like to counterspell.
Okay. As you go out and hold out the counterspell to do it, you release the energy from it, but it's almost as if the counterspell was negated, shut off from locking on to whatever this energy that Deja has just released. All right. Duran, you succeed. Monaco, you have failed. So you are both engulfed, but Duran, you jump just to the side, getting out the way from most of the hit. Monaco, you're hit with all of it, and you take 40 points of a damage that you're not sure exactly what it is. This feeling, it's terrible. And Duran, you take 20.
Gah!
With that, after releasing the torrent of dark energy, Deja goes and thrusts one of their arms directly into Duran's chest, trying to make it a physical attack. Okay. 15 versus your AC misses. Still nimble from dodging the energy, you dodge out of the way before being struck by one of these demonic hands.
What kind of power is this?
It stings.
Bathe in the power of chaos.
And Deja will end their turn there. Horatio, you're up next.
Horatio is going to move up to Duran and Monaco, 15 feet.
Are you hopping over the table?
Sure.
All right, roll me an acrobatics check. 20. All right. So you easily slide across the table, knocking over the tea and crumpets that were left there, landing right behind Duran and next to Monaco.
Dukes of Hazzard.
And I'm going to say, all right, guys, I don't know what to do here, so I'm going to speed you guys up and cast haste at 4th level and target both of them.
All right.
And then I'm going to use the rest of my movement to kind of dodge this chair and go back 15 feet.
Anything else you want to do, Horatio?
No, that's the end of his turn.
All right. So, Horatio, jumping over the table, landing behind Duran and Monaco, you unleash your magic, able to use it freely again, making them hasted as you see their bodies start to pump up and down, the adrenaline soaring. You run back for safety.
Be careful, Wizard Horatio. This energy is unlike anything I've felt before.
Monaco, you're up next.
As Horatio kind of comes up to her, she was looking at the table almost like she was going to run, and as the power kind of surges, she finds bravery in her heart and stands tall for a moment. Holding her rod up, she says some arcane words, and it feels heavy in her hands, and she'll cast Shillelagh on herself as a bonus action. She'll move 5 feet up next to Duran, stepping into his square temporarily. You can cast multiple cantrips in one turn, right?
One cantrip, one spell.
One spell. I see. So she'll just make one weighty attack then,
All right, 25. Roll damage.
and one more. Yeah. So she'll take the disengage action and then retreat after landing one blow.
When you struck Deja Vu, you saw that there was no effect. All the magical energies that came from the shillelagh almost was absorbed into the armor, doing no damage.
When after that hits, she kind of looks at her weapon and sees it does nothing, looks up, and then sort of backs up as quickly as she can and retreats back to her friends, saying as she does so, there's something going on with the magic. It doesn't work. Saying that to Horatio when she gets close.
Okay. Are you jumping over the table to get back there?
She will crawl under the table and possibly turn under the table.
Sure.
Yeah, she'll hide. She'll be under the table and kind of between the legs, poke her head in and say, I hit it and nothing happened.
All right. Next up, King.
I'll say, no, I feel it. Our connection has returned. And I'll sort of like run around the room and I'll start waving my hands around, weaving magic. And I'm going to look at both my allies, Silmith and Duran, and I will say, I shield you with my faith and bind myself to the two of you. With these words, I protect you. And I will twin Shield of Faith on both of them. A crown of flowers will sort of appear around their heads or around their necks, like a wreath of roses. And there will be a light green glow emanating from them, granting them a bonus to their AC. And that will be a bonus action. And then I will take Chasubles and I will spin it open and it will start to bloom. And I'll look towards Deja Vu and I'll say, you are an abomination. Be judged in our radiant light. Sunflower! And I'll shoot a ray of energy and I'll do a Sacred Flame cantrip.
And they dodge out the way.
I will then take the rest of my movement to back up in the corner over here.
Okay, so releasing on your energy, you notice that Deja Vu didn't seem to dodge it more as they absorb the energy, nullifying its effects. And as you run over Cal, what do you do next?
I kind of move up towards the side of the table and aim over at Deja Vu, and we'll start unloading my magic pistol. And I'm going to be smiteful about it too.
That was a hit, roll damage.
Womp. And then for the Divine Smite, it's going to be 2d8s.
It's because you didn't say your catchphrase.
Yeah, right. But I'm going to fire off another round for my second attack.
All right.
Ooh.
15 misses.
And I'll use a bonus action to fire off another shot. Sweet.
22 hits.
This will also be smiting at the second level, and I kind of look over at Deja Vu and I look them straight in the eye and say, it's time for your chaos to end.
All right. So, Cal, as you fire shot after shot, some of them missing, but others hitting, you launch the divine energy from your smite, whereas the bullet seemed to sort of damage with its piercing hit. The magic from the divine smite dissipates and almost gets absorbed into the armor as it begins to glow even brighter. You hear a horrid laughter coming over from Deja Vu.
Your magic is nothing but the power of chaos.
I'll see what Kalemvor has to say about that. And that's my turn.
All right. Top of the round. Duran.
I'll draw their attention away. Duran yells back to the team, and he's going to, here we go, evasive footwork. It allows me to spend one superiority die to my AC while I'm moving.
All right. You can add 5 more to your AC.
And Duran's going to kind of dart away from her, or them.
They will attack you. You notice that Deja's focus is primarily on you, but does not strike you. As the demon arm tries to clamp onto you, you manage to use your fancy footwork to dodge back.
Duran's going to slide under the arm and pull and kind of position his blade. He's going to run under the arm and then run up and start slicing at Deja again.
Okay. Roll that attack. That's a hit. 24. Roll damage.
All right, rolling first weapon damage, then rolling kinetic slash damage, then rolling sneak attack damage. And the Duran, without missing a beat, carries the momentum from the swing into a second swing, kind of with low crouched knees, spinning with the blade out, cutting around him on each side.
26. Roll damage.
And then he attacks with the action he gains from the haste attack.
27. Roll that damage.
And then he uses the second attack feature.
Fortunately, those attack miss.
And then with his last bonus action,
21. Okay, so with a flurry of attacks once again, not all of them hitting, but most of them going, as Deja tries to parry and dodge, almost fearful of the blade as it begins to hum with each slash. Roll me a wisdom check, Duran. 5.
I roll strong.
So, anything else you want to do, Duran?
Duran's gonna continue. He's gonna move kind of over here to draw the fire or any kind of blast towards him.
Alright. Deja locks eyes and says,
You filthy abomination. You wield the power of chaos, yet know nothing about it. Your bones will cover this earth, and your flesh will be my meal.
Sil, you're up next.
I'm gonna attack,
It hits. Roll damage.
and then I'll do it again.
27.
And for my last one, I'm gonna do a stunning strike.
Okay, so you strike with your stunning strike, but Deja Vu once again succeeds in deflecting it.
And that's the end of my turn.
Once again, you notice your strikes doesn't seem to pierce it all the way in there, especially the magical elements that come from it. Though you do manage to hit, if only partially, with the bludgeoning and slashing portions of your attack. So Deja Vu's turn. Deja Vu looks behind them and looks in front of them again. And
You pathetic fools will burn in the chaos.
they disappear from your sight, reappearing about 30 feet into the air. Raising their hands up, you see a black and red ball of energy starts to form, almost like a large fireball, but it's obviously not fire, how it's emanating this pure chaotic energy. Stretching their arms all the way back, they release it coming onto the ground. I'm going to need Duran. I'm going to need everyone except for King to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Does being under the table help?
No.
Cal will fail with grace.
Horatio would fail with grace.
Wow, even a 17 didn't fail. Or did fail. Oh boy.
All right, so everyone but Duran fails. So each of you take 34 points of chaotic damage, and you take half of that, Duran.
Minako is encased in ice as a reaction.
And then looking over at Duran after firing this ball of energy, one of the mouths that's oozing the same colored energy that they just fired fires a beam at Duran. Okay, and so it's a 19 versus your AC, which misses. So you see this beam of energy shoot from Deja's hand, hitting the ground, sliding up towards you, Duran. As you jump out the way, it continues to go beyond the hole in the back of the tower. And as you look back and see a nearby mountain just gets split in half, and you just see as it begins to crumble and fall down and causing an earthquake that you all feel.
Sweat rolls down the side of Duran's face.
Bathe in the power of chaos.
And Deja Vu will end their turn. Horatio, you're up next.
Horatio, taking that damage from the attack from this creature, he will think about all of this chaos and how Duran's blade had some form of unidentified energy to it, and is going to yell out, "Duran, you're the one who can do the most damage to it. Let's see if I can get it back down to ground level." And he will cast Lightning Bolt, aiming upwards.
Okay. Deja succeeded.
So they take half damage.
As you shoot your lightning bolt, Deja notices and moves out the way, but still gets hit. And the part that hits Deja just gets sucked into the armor as it begins to glow even brighter.
Your feeble attempts means nothing in the power of chaos. Come be fodder for my power.
Horatio will end his turn after moving.
Okay. Manako, you're up next.
Minako will cough and sputter up some water as she melts from the ice, standing up barely, and ends her turn.
All right, so King, you're up next. Floating in the sky, you see the armored Deja Vu. What do you decide to do?
It is covered in a blood armor, correct?
A blood-like armor. You're not exactly sure if it's actual blood or not.
I'm going to dig in my bag and pull out a glass orb vial that has the insignia of Myliki, a left-looking unicorn head with a cork on top of it, blessed holy water, and I will uncork it, and I will ride on Chastiful, getting closer to this creature, and I'll say, "Be cleansed, you beast of the underworld," and I'll throw the vial directly at it, trying to like hit it and have it sort of like explode and get splashed with all this holy water.
All right. Roll a dexterity check.
Dexterity check. Okay. I know. Hold on. I can't add anywhere near enough to make that matter. So never mind.
Or as you throw the holy water, Deja isn't looking at you and more looking at Duran. And as it is about to land into their back, Deja turns around and catches it, looks at it, and throws it onto the ground as it shatters. Looking at you, they say,
Are you an envoy of the gods? These attempts will do nothing to me. I'll deal with you next.
I am thoroughly shitting my pants, and I think that was a full action, correct?
yes.
As a bonus action, I will say, "Come forth," and I'll hold my hand upward in a flourish and summon a Chastiful behind Deja Vu, using a bonus action 4th level spell to create a spiritual weapon. And I will then make a few hand gestures and pull it forward, and it will start to spin like a drill, and I will make an attack with it. God. I will use my Favored by the Gods to add 2d4 to it. 20.
Okay, that will hit. As Chastiful strikes into Deja Vu, the energy dissipates and then gets sucked in. Now, Chastiful still is there, but it looks smaller, weaker. As part of its essence has seemingly been assimilated into this unholy armor, doing no damage.
Okay, and then with the little bit last of my movement, I will sort of just fly back a little bit and a little closer to the ground. So now maybe 10 feet above the ground.
Cal, you're up next.
Okay, I'm going to cast Hold Person. That is the first thing I'm going to do.
All right. So as you cast Whole Person, you once again try to reach out like you did to Deja before they had transformed, and once again they seem to break free of it. You just hear them go, breaking free of your magical hold. They have succeeded.
Cal's then going to run over here, and in the process of doing that, use an action surge to fire off a few more rounds from the magic pistols.
All right, go right ahead. That's a hit. Roll damage. Nice. I mean, you did roll a 1 and a 2, but still nice on the nat 20.
Yeah, right. Oh, and then there's that one, which means that I'm going to have to try to repair one of my pistols as it kind of misfires, and for whatever reason, I'm pulling the trigger, but nothing's happening.
So, Cal, you once again continue to fire shots, some of them hitting while others miss, not doing that much damage. But with one of your last shots, unfortunately, the gun jams and misfires, exploding up. Once again, you have to take your action to repair it. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, that's everything.
All right, top of the round. Duran, the flow is flying 30 feet in the air, menacingly looking at you. What do you do next?
Dran looks at the foul creature and sees how it's way out of the reach of his blades. Looking around, do I see anything on the ground? Rock, perhaps, or
From the initial chaos beam that it shot at you, it did do some damage to the building, so there are some rocks on the ground you can pick up.
Can I grab a caltrop and then knock it into the entity using my magnetic blade to kind of bat it into him?
Yes, you can, but you want a caltrop. All right, so I will need you. This will be like the secondary action that you can do with this blade, which is the magnetic force. So roll for me. It's going to be a high DC, but roll for me a dexterity check.
No!
A 9. Okay, so you go and you grab the caltrop and try to use the magnetic blade to amplify amplify the force throwing at it, seemingly hoping to give the caltrop this chaotic force energy that you have from your blade. Unfortunately, it gets stuck on it, and you just unable to launch it, and on your actual blade, the caltrop remains.
That was my first action. Can Duran use another action, swinging his blade in the direction of the of Deja Vu to try to throw the ball again?
Sure, you can roll me. Your next action could be another dexterity check. 14. You try again, and it's just not coming off. Unless you wish to use your D12 bonus. Remember, you still have that.
Oh yeah, I'll blow that shit.
Okay, roll me a D12. Okay, 19 total. So, with your first throwing up the caltraps, and let's say you do like a handful of throw up your caltraps, and you try to knock it towards Deja, unfortunately get stuck. Continuing with the momentum, you spin around and release it again, and this time they fly towards Deja Vu. They instinctively hold out their hand, and you just see king, 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 king as it locks on, and you hear the cries of pain.
You filthy mongrel. I will have your flesh. I will rend them from your bones.
And roll me damage. Well, let's say roll me 4d6. I'm sorry, 4d4s. Okay, 13 points of damage.
And if possible, I'd like to use one of my maneuver dice to add a DC 17 strength check to it.
Okay, that is a success.
And that's the end of Doran's turn.
Okay, so Duran, using a makeshift projectile of chaos weapon, you launch to the caltraps towards Deja Vu, doing damage, seeing that your blade is causing some type of effect, though what or how you're not sure of. Roll me another wisdom check. 16. As you're moving around the battlefield and launching these attacks, even from the very beginning, you feel yourself become lighter. Each step you're making and you're moving, it's almost as if you're gliding. You're not sure what it is, and the battle's too intense for you to focus on it, but just this moment you notice that you're just gracefully moving across the battlefield. Sil, you're up next.
I'm going to fly 30 feet in the air, and I'm going to attack her. Hurt them. Do I get advantage with Wishy Skull over there?
No, unfortunately, does not give advantage. 15, that is a miss. 16, also a miss. 16, once again, another miss. So, Sil, as you claw and strike at Deja Vu, they are dodging back and forth, left and right, with a grace and nimbleness, even though they're clad in this large armor. You do not manage to strike. Deja Vu is up. Seeing as you're right next to them, they're going to make their first attack against you.
Filthy creature, out of my way. I seek to destroy the user of chaos.
And will make their first attack. All right, that's a 20, which misses. So as they go and strike you with their demon hand, you dodge out the way before it clunks onto you.
I'll deal with you in it.
And Deja Vu begins to soar down. You can make an opportunity attack if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Natural 20. Oof, roll that damage.
Could I use Stunning Strike on that?
Yeah, you can if you would like.
Yeah, I will.
So as they get stunned, legendary action. I'm going to make it so they succeed on it. That's one legendary action gone.
The one failure.
So getting hit from your strike and the stunning energy comes upon them, they thrust it off and continue going, looking back to you with disdain before locking eyes once again, still flying in the air with Duran. Okay, 24 hits, 13 points of slashing damage with an additional 4 points of chaotic damage. And they're going to attack one last time. It's a 28. Another 20 points of damage with 9 points of chaos damage on top of that. And they're going to use the rest of their movement to fly up 10 more feet, so you can use your reaction if you want.
Duran will swing through the pain.
All right, roll that attack. Ooh, 24 hit.
And I'm going to use a combat superiority die to add a DC 17 strength. You know what? I'm going to use it to apply a DC 17 wisdom save or become frightened.
Okay, that is a success.
And that's all he's got.
Okay, so now they're 10 feet ahead of you. So Deja Vu, after missing and taking the strike from Sil, flies down and then strikes Duran with their demon hands, clawing and biting at Duran's flesh before flying up, seems fearfully trying to get out of the way of his chaotic weapon. Horatio, you're up next.
Horatio's taking a Hail Mary attempt. How far away are they right now?
So it is 20, 30 feet away from you.
Okay, Horatio will move 5 feet here to get them in their line of sight because I'm not sure if that's a wall or not. And he's going to Hail Mary cast Dispel Magic on them at 5th level.
Okay. You go to cast Dispel Magic, and you roll me a investigation check with this.
I'd like to use my... should I use my Rabu Blessing? Yeah, I'll use it.
16.
Wow.
All right, so you reach out with your mind and your arcane powers and try to, deconstruct the energy around Deja Vu. It does not work, but in the process, as you start to pick at it, similar to what you did with the crystal days before in the camp, you see that this is not magic. It's something else, and your mind goes back towards the void and the curse and all your studies. And you know that the void isn't magic. It's something new, something different. And Deja Vu is just oozing with this power. You have to figure out some other way, some new type of way to deflect this in order for it to work like as if it was magic. But you just don't know how to yet.
And that's his turn.
Minako, you're up next.
Minako, she acts and will spend an action to cast guidance on herself and use a bonus action to cast the actual spell, Far Step, letting her teleport 30 feet, and she will teleport on top of Deja Vu.
Okay, roll me a dexterity check. Natural 20. So Minako, still shivering from the cold, you instinctively teleport yourself, appearing instantly above Deja Vu. Deja looks up, and with shock, you land completely on their face and hang on for dear life.
Get off me, you wretched fool!
And she just does her best to weigh them down.
Okay, I'm going to roll a contested check to see if Deja can get out of your grapple. Not, no. So yes, Deja although still floating in the air, you're not weighing them down that much. You do have them locked, kind of tied and locked as they're kind of flinging around trying to get you off.
I don't know. Get him!
Does that end your turn?
Yeah, I mean, unless she can move down, which I don't think she can.
All right, so King, you see Minako just covering armored Deja Vu as they're both are flailing up there. What do you do?
I stand up and I put my hands forth and I gesture and I say, do not despair. I'll make sure we can withstand this vile creature's attacks. Pollen Garden! And I'm going to release a poof of pollen into the air and they're all going to breathe deeply and I'm casting Mass Cure Wound. Yep, everybody's within range. And so it heals everybody up a decent amount. After seeing the pollen slowly waft through the air and land on my allies and sort of act as a healing agent to them, they get stronger with it, and I will then gesture and make a few hand motions and look for any specific weaknesses in Deja Vu, and hopefully thinking it's not a futile action, I will try and attack with my spiritual weapon. And it flies past anyway and doesn't do any damage.
17 to hit, misses. Chastafo flies up and tries to hit Deja Vu, but roll at advantage, because Deja Vu is currently being grappled and not paying attention. No, still a miss.
Actually, if it's at advantage, I have Elven Accuracy, so I should get to roll 3.
Roll one more time. And that's a hit!
I never ever get to use Elven Accuracy, so that's pretty great.
Unfortunately, yet again, the armor is being whatever this chaos energy that Deja Vu has been saying. Your magical energy doesn't seem to be doing any type of effect to it, as well as the force energy. The only thing that you've all witnessed that did some damage were, although not as much, were the bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage coming from, and of course the chaotic damage coming from Duran.
Okay, well, I have done what I have tried, done what I could, and aided my allies, so I will end my turn.
All right, Cal, you're up next.
I'm going to drop my magic pistols, and can I take off the shoulder holstered pistols with a bonus action?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start using my attacks on Deja Vu.
All right. You have an advantage if you can reach Deja Vu because of Nako.
Was she? Yeah. Does she have like partial cover because Monako is kind of like on top of the top half?
No, Deja is not covered. You can hit them as long as you don't do anything that would possibly could also hit Monako.
Okay.
Like,
Well,
like
I'm
a range, like a spread ability or an AOE.
okay. No, I'm aiming away from Monaco's body towards the lower half
Yeah.
of like towards like maybe like a gut shot.
Okay. 26. That's a hit.
Excellent.
All right. 11 points of damage.
And for the second attack, oh, wow.
Dice gods have spoken.
Yep.
Double 11. Make a wish.
I wish to be better at attacking. Yeah, so I don't have anything I can really do with a bonus action right this second. So I'm going to move myself towards the rest of this group here in order to give them some relief on saving throws, and that'll be the end of the turn.
Monako screams every time you shoot at them, by the way.
Monako, I'm not trying to hit you at all.
Okay. Top of the round. Duran.
So you said Duran feels lighter as he's moving the blade. And Deja Vu's only 10 feet in the air.
Yeah.
Duran is going to try to jump up and strike Deja Vu in the back while they're being distracted by Monako.
So, Duran, as you try to reach up and go after Deja Vu, who's currently entwined with Monako, you begin to step up, and as you do, you feel this strange air energy come forth from your feet. As you step up, it's almost as if you're stepping on a solid ground, and your mind goes back towards what you saw the daimyo do before, and then using that knowledge and that instinct, you begin to walk up the air slowly with each feet. And when you, before even realizing it, you are hovering or stepping onto the air, now face to face with Deja Vu. Go ahead and make your strike. 25, roll damage.
Duran doesn't take a moment to think about the circumstance of how he got up. All that he can care about now is trying to take this creature down, and he's going to bury into it with everything he's got. Here I go! Vagary Cloud Formation Strike of the Wind God!
And as those words come into your head and you strike forward, you notice that your blade begins to spin faster and faster. Roll me an extra damage on the magnetic strike. So, all of you witness Duran almost stepping in the air as he begins dancing around Deja Vu as if the sky was a walkway. And you all see him just slash left and right. And you just hear the screams of pain as the dark energy is coming off of Deja Vu. All you hear...
Get off of me!
Go ahead and continue making your strikes.
You were the one who made yourself our enemy.
All right, still in the air, dancing around the enemy. Continue your slashes with that magnetic blade, diving more and further into Deja Vu's armor. And then you do notice part of it cracks off, and all of you hear an audible. Get off!
Of me!
Get off of
Me!
As the voice keeps going back and forth from this strange, warped, augmented sound. What else do you want to do?
Duran is going to marvel while he's still in the air and not know if he's about to fall. He's going to run over to, if he can get over to a wall somewhere safe, just in case this stops happening. Or if he can run across the edge of the wall in preparation to strike next turn.
Okay. So as you walk towards the wall and you step 1, 2, as if you're walking on ground, Deja will reach out and try to grab you at disadvantage. And that's a hit. You take 18 points of slashing damage and 5 more points of chaotic damage. You begin to stumble and almost lose your footing, but still concentrating, you're still able to step onto the air and hover. I would say hover is not the word, because you're literally stepping on the air and stand next to the wall, 10 feet in the air.
Duran kind of holds his arm like Vegeta always does with the arm injury he has, but he still keeps his eye on his opponent, even though the blood might close out his vision.
All right. Is there anything else you wish to do?
Get ready for the next turn.
All right. So, Sil, you're up next.
I'm gonna fly on the side of her, and I'm gonna start off my vicious warrior at advantage,
First one is a miss.
and then I'm gonna try the battle axe,
That's a hit.
and then I'll spend a key point to do flurry of blows. I'll add Spend one more key point to add a d6 to that as well. And I guess I'll use one more key point since I didn't do it to do Stunning Strike with that last hit.
The dice gods are not on your side today. But the last strike hits. Legendary action. I'll use a second one. They will choose to save this instead of failing.
And that'll end my turn.
So after being attacked with an onslaught of slashes from Duran and from Syl, meanwhile face covered by Monaco, who's on top while you're trying to hold on, you all can see the energy fluctuating around Deja Vu as they're beginning to possibly losing hold. You're not sure. Angrily, they turn and attempt to, with Monaco still on them, they once again teleport, and Monaco, you teleport with them because you're still on Deja.
I've had enough of your insolence. I don't care what happens to me. I'll destroy all of you who get in my and the Dark Master's way. Chaotic release!
I need everyone to roll me dexterity saving throws. Cow King and Monaco, who succeed. As they kind of pull their arms and legs closer into their body, they stretch it all out, releasing a black and red spherical blast coming from it. You see the armor start to fall off and piece off of Deja as it completely engulfs most of the innards of this tower citadel, breaking the walls on the side, making the hole even larger. I rolled so many ones!
But how many ones did you roll?
Hey, it's par for the course. We're not hitting anything, you're not hitting anything.
Taking 46 points of chaotic damage, halved if you have passed.
I'm rendered unconscious by just 21 damage.
I'm so mad that I rolled so many ones. It's like 1, 1, 1, 3. Like literally, I only rolled max die on one die. How lucky.
Yay.
You are gonna thorn in my side. Give me my crystals.
Give me my crystals.
I need it. The master
Needs it. And staying right there, they will end their turn. All right, so at this point, you see half of the armor on Deja Vu gone. You feel any type of resistances that Deja had, possibly if you aim for the part which is now visible, which is their head and upper torso, it's gone. And they look visually tired and exhausted as Monaco is still on top of them. Horatio, what do you do now?
Horatio is going to look at this individual and say, "Who is your master? What do you guys want with the crystals?"
I will tell you nothing, because I will kill you in their name.
And then Horatio will say, "I think the only one that's going to be dying today is you." And he will use the Staff of Alsalar to attack and aim for the head.
All right, roll that attack at advantage.
I can activate the staff, I believe, because I haven't used it.
It's a free action.
And use a reroll. Alright, it's meant to be. I miss.
A natural 1.
I can choose what roll to use, and I used the 9.
The non-natural 1. Got it. All right, so you go ahead and try to strike with the Staff of Alsalar, unfortunately unable to hit as Deja Vu is still flailing around, trying to get Monaco off.
And as a bonus action, Horatio will Misty Step.
All right.
And that's the end of his turn.
Monaco, you're up next. Still holding on for dear life as you're being flung on about. What do you do?
So, are we in the air?
No, they teleported to the ground, and the way that their teleport works seems to have brought you with them.
Well, can she perform somatic components while grabbing someone? Is that a thing?
No, you would have to jump off.
Yeah, she's gonna do that.
All right, releasing your grip, you jump off, land onto the ground next or behind, or wherever you want to place yourself.
Yeah, she just lets go and kind of stumbles back, and pulls from her side the rod and uses it to cast Hex as a bonus action, giving them disadvantage on strength ability checks, and also dealing some damage whenever she does damage to them.
All right. So casting your Hex, you see the aura of the inner entity of you appear above their head. What else would you like to do, Monaco?
And she will then begin to just mutter more words and wave her staff around, drawing it in the air in a sigil of a flame in infernal, and conjuring up a bonfire in that space.
Yes, doing 13 points of damage to Deja Vu. They are burned with the necrotic energy.
Is she still hasted?
Yeah, you should still be hasted.
Okay, in that case, she takes the disengage action and moves away from Deja Vu. And she'll actually kind of do a bit of a circle and get behind Cal.
All right. Next up, King. What do you do?
I'm going to fly about 10 feet here, land, and then run diagonally in like this circular direction to get around and see Duran. And as I'm running, I'm waving my hands and making gestures that we've all seen before and calling forth my inner power. And I'm using a sorcery point to cast Cure Wounds at a distance. And the ground underneath Duran, that is normally rock and castle-like structure, starts to form grass, and small flowers start to bloom and grow around him, and they release a familiar pollen. And as he lays there and breathes in its essence, he's healed, and I'm going to cast it at 5th level.
All right. Cast your healing ability. So, Duran, you at the landing onto the ground, you are brought back to consciousness, your face planted in dirt and rocks. As you look over and inhale the pollen from King, you see him as you lock eyes.
Then I'm going to look back towards Deja Vu, and I'm going to make a battle gesture and send Chastaful flying, and I'm going to aim for the part that is exposed skin.
That's a 20. Roll damage. 10 points of damage onto Deja Vu. They're looking pretty rough.
And that will be everything.
Okay. So after striking with Chastafo, you see blood start to drip from this featureless white blob changeling creature. They look panicked and start panting heavily, but still half of their body is covered in this armor that is still oozing off this dark energy. Cal, face to face with that, what do you do?
I go onto the side of the body that has everything exposed. I kind of jam it in there, and I start pulling the trigger.
Kalamvar, welcome this thing to death!
Alright, using that close range. So that's a hit.
And I have another one as well, because I can make 2 shots.
Right, go right ahead and make your second shot.
And I just keep pulling the trigger, furious,
You will not live through this!
And I'm going to use my Divine Smite on the unarmored side as I shoot. I was actually going to use my divinity, since I'm shouting in the name of Kalamvar, to guide my strike to add 10 to the roll.
So shouting in the name of Kalamvar, you shoot forth with your pistols into the face of Deja Vu, the divine energy bullets blasting several again and again and again, and then they manage to move their head sideways to dodge the next one, but you see this movement, and using the energy of Kalamvar, bend the bullet slightly so it just hits the side of Deja Vu's head, blasting it with more of this divine smite. They're looking pretty hurt.
Doran, finish this thing!
Duran, on the ground, you awaken. What do you do?
Duran, after being knocked unconscious, it comes to air flooding back into his lungs, and he feels a kind of sweet, familiar dew across his lips, and knows it's a touch of King's magic, and remembers that he has a responsibility to those he must protect. He grabs his blade and steadies himself up, and he charges, and he's going to strike Deja Vu in their back.
All right. At advantage, roll your attack. Still stumbling, you fortunately missed the blow.
Duran chokes and sputters and coughs and tries to right himself, still hanging on to the momentum of the swing.
So that's a hit.
There we go. And he's going to add a 1d8 to the damage as well, and try to give them a DC 17 strength check to knock them prone.
And they have minus something to strength checks because of Monaco?
They have disadvantage on ability checks, not saving throws.
All right. That is another success. It's a 24.
Then Duran's going to attack again. Everything that we are in one final blow.
23 hits.
and he adds one more D8 of damage on the end of that, and a DC 17 Wisdom save, or become frightened. That's his last combat superiority die.
Alright, that's also another success. I'm rolling really good on these saves. Really poor on damage die. Alright? So, after getting up, still the adrenaline pumping into your body, not lost, you thrust yourself across, and once again you're continuing to glide. So it wasn't more so of a run across, more of a dash, like an aerial dash across. And landing with that force of momentum, you land behind Deja Vu, continuing with your strikes as the magnetic blade goes on faster and faster, buzzing and whizzing. You all can almost feel this strange magnetic energy reverberate all around you. Deja is looking hurt. They're just like, no, the Dark Lord, please. So, you're up next.
Okay, I will, I'm probably the same space as Durant, but I'm not going to actually move there. I'm just going to move next to him.
Okay.
And I'm so I can get advantage. I'm going to start attacking here, beginning with my Warhammer.
That's a hit, roll damage.
And then the next strike will do my battle axe. And then I'll use one key point to do furrier blows. Roll it to die. I'm also going to spend my last key point using a d6 of damage die. So I imagine he came down striking with his Warhammer straight to the face on top of their head. So it kind of like crumpled them. And then they were on their knee and he came up from the other side, uppercutting him with the battle axe. And when he noticed they were still going, he turned around using his wings to stabilize them in the same spot, but as kind of like a gyroscope. He would kick them one way and then come around the other way and finish it off with a heel to the back of the head.
All right. You fly down with a flurry of attacks, hitting one left and right on Deja as they go, no more. Please, stop it. Oh, stop it. Before finally landing onto the ground, falling straight on their back. Looking up, you all are kind of looking down towards them. And they go, all right. Oh, all right then. You win. I give up. You're stronger. No, Dark Lord who? Oh, of course not. I know when I've been beat. The Chaos Armor, deactivate. And with that, you see the armor just all shatter across, and it's just Deja Vu in the skin-tight leotard outfit in their featureless, almost amorphic blob humanoid form. You are essentially out of combat now. But they look extremely weak, almost as if they had 10 HP left. And they begin to kind of crawl back a little bit. And with that, the end of the battle, we will take a break.
Yay, break. That was fucking bonkers.
That was intense, yeah.
But I do know that Duran's got a vagary now.
That is so fucking dope. And I think you got like the best one.
Best is an opinion. They're all equal. Hey there, Dungeon Delvers. Thank you for listening. I would like to take this time to thank all of the wonderful people who helped bring Descent into the Void, a tale of D20s to life. Starting with Frank Freire, who designed our character art, Kyle Misko, who collaborated on the main, mystical, and night theme songs, Manuel Lapuca, who collaborated on our battle and adventuring theme song, Jan Rosa for the use of their original soundtracks, David Chappell for the use of his End of Silence, A World of Color soundtrack, MFY for the use of their Dragon Castle Symphony for Duran's theme song, and Danny.Phantom.01 for creating the Liberators' full art. You can find more about these wonderful artists on our website, ataleofd20s.com. Now click on to part 2, and let's continue our epic tale.